Hello, everyone. Let me say it straight. Respect isn't given, it's earned. And if you want people to look at you and see strength, integrity, and confidence, then you need to take a hard look at your own habits. Yes, I said it. Not your talent, not your background, not your story, but your habits. Because if you keep standing in your own way, don't expect the world to move aside for you. So today I want to talk about 5 habits you need to remove. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. If you truly want to earn respect, there's a difference between being appreciated and being dependent on appreciation. One comes from self assurance, the other from insecurity. And too many people spend their lives refreshing likes, replaying compliments in their minds, and adjusting themselves to win approval from others who often don't even know what they want. If you're constantly chasing external validation, you're handing over the keys to your self worth. And worse, you're telling the world that your value is up for debate. Let's be honest, the addiction to being liked is dangerous. It makes you shrink yourself to fit in. It makes you over explain, over apologize, and overcompensate. You begin to question your choices, dilute your voice, and second guess your instincts just to keep others comfortable. But guess what? The moment you start editing yourself for someone else's comfort, you lose authenticity. And authenticity is the foundation of real respect. People may like a version of you that pleases them, but they only respect the version of you that stands firm. You have to learn to validate yourself first. That means standing by your decisions even when they're unpopular. It means saying, I know what I'm doing, without needing a committee of cheerleaders. It means knowing your talent, your character, your story, and not needing someone else to endorse it before you believe it's real. Respect begins the moment you stop auditioning for it. Because those who know their value don't wait for applause. They walk into the room as if they are the applause. And here's the irony: the less you need validation, the more you attract it. When people see someone who doesn't flinch under pressure, who doesn't bend to be liked, who doesn't need everyone's approval, they pay attention. Confidence is magnetic. Self belief is loud even in silence. You don't have to shout to be seen. Just stand tall, speak your truth, and watch how the world begins to mirror the respect you show yourself. Blaming the world is easy. Pointing fingers is easy. What's hard, and what earns respect, is standing up and saying, yes, that was on me. Yeah. In a world where everyone's trying to dodge accountability, taking full responsibility becomes a power move. It shows character, it shows maturity, and it tells people that you're not afraid to own your actions, whether they lead to applause or criticism. Responsibility isn't just about being right, it's about being real. When things go wrong, most people start looking for someone else to blame: their team, their upbringing, the timing, even the weather. But the truth is, the most respected people are the ones who face the mess head on and say, this happened, and I'm going to fix it. That kind of honesty is rare. It separates leaders from complainers. Because people don't respect those who run from problems. They respect those who take charge, admit where they slipped, and then step up to clean the fallout. Taking responsibility isn't weakness. It's the purest form of strength. It means you're not afraid of consequence. It means you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You're allowed to fail, but what you're not allowed to do, if you want respect, is pretend that nothing is your fault. People remember those who stay calm when the heat rises, those who admit the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and those who choose integrity over saving face. And don't confuse responsibility with taking blame for everything. This isn't about being a doormat or absorbing blame that doesn't belong to you. It's about knowing the line between your part and theirs, and having the guts to own your part, even when others don't. Because once you start leading with ownership, people stop seeing you as a passive character in your own story and start seeing you as the author. And that shift, that's where respect starts to follow. A talk is cheap. Anyone can make promises, declare dreams, or craft the perfect caption. But words without action, they fade fast. Respect isn't earned through big talk, it's earned through consistent delivery. The world has seen enough people who say they're going to do something and never follow through. The real impact, the kind that turns heads and commands attention, comes from showing up, putting in the work, and letting the results do the talking. When you spend all your energy telling people what you're going to do, you're feeding your ego, not your legacy. People respect those who quietly work behind the scenes, hustle when no one's watching, and surprise everyone not with noise, but with outcomes. You don't need to advertise your ambition every 5 minutes. You need to embody it. Because when you walk into a room with results, you don't need to explain who you are. Your work says it all, loud and clear. There's power in silence when it's backed by action. It builds intrigue. It builds credibility. It shows that you're focused on doing, not just performing. Social media has made it trendy to announce every move before it's made. But real achievers know the value of moving in silence. They know that progress isn't always pretty, and success is built in the dark long before the spotlight hits. That quiet grind, that's where the respect is born. Let your execution become your reputation. Be the person who surprises others not with empty speeches, but with undeniable proof. Because while the world is busy watching and talking, the one who's building, silently, consistently, deliberately, will always rise above the noise. And that rise, it doesn't need an introduction. Tearing others down doesn't make you look strong. It makes you look small. It's easy to criticize, gossip, and throw shade from the sidelines. But real strength isn't proven by how loudly you talk about someone else's flaws. It's proven by how confidently you rise without dragging anyone. People who constantly find fault in others are usually trying to cover up the cracks in themselves. And trust me, nothing destroys credibility faster than being known as the person who can't celebrate someone else's success. You don't earn respect by being the loudest voice in the room, especially if that voice is laced with jealousy, sarcasm, or negativity. Think about the people you truly admire. They carry themselves with grace, they don't need to compete in petty games, and they certainly don't tear people down to feel relevant. The most respected people are the ones who uplift others, even when no one is watching. They understand that another person's light doesn't dim their own. That's not weakness, that's emotional intelligence. When you focus on criticizing others, you're giving away your power. You're shifting attention away from your own goals and growth and into someone else's lane. But when you rise without pushing anyone down, people take notice. They see your confidence, your character, your class. They see that you don't feel threatened by other people's wins because you're too busy creating your own. And that earns a level of respect that gossip and judgment never will. There is nothing more commanding than someone who could throw stones but chooses to build instead. Let people talk. Let them compete in the race for attention. You take the high road. Support where you can, stay silent when needed, and let your actions build a reputation so strong that no amount of shade can touch it. Because when you choose integrity over insecurity, you win something deeper than popularity. You earn lasting respect. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's certainty in your ability to figure things out. But far too often, people make a habit of putting themselves down in front of others, thinking it makes them relatable or humble or safe. It does. Publicly doubting yourself, constantly disclaiming your ideas with, "I'm not sure if this is right," or "this might sound stupid," but chips away at your presence before you've even had a chance to show your brilliance. The truth is, if you don't sound like you believe in yourself, why should anyone else? We've been conditioned, especially as women, to downplay our confidence so we don't come across as a too much. So we shrink our voices, we understate our wins, we wrap our competence in nervous laughter, all to appear less threatening, more likable. But that self-doubt you broadcast, it doesn't soften your image, it weakens your image. People don't respect someone who constantly undermines their own voice. They respect those who stand by their ideas with clarity, even when they're still learning, even when they're scared. You're allowed to be uncertain. That's human. But uncertainty doesn't have to look like self-sabotage. There's a way to stay open to feedback without erasing your own value in the process. Say, here's my thought, and I'm open to perspectives. Instead of, this might be wrong, speak with ownership. Show the world that even when you don't have every answer, you trust your instincts, you believe in your voice, and you're not afraid to take up space in the conversation. That's what earns real respect. And remember, confidence isn't about always being right. It's about not being afraid to be seen trying. When you walk into a room like you belong there, without apologizing for your presence, your ideas, or your ambitions, people take note. They listen closer. They engage differently. Because when you stop doubting yourself out loud, you signal to the world that you are someone worth paying attention to. And that shift in energy, that's where authority is born. So here's the truth. Respect isn't something you wait around for. It's something you build brick by brick, choice by choice. It's not about being liked by everyone. It's about being respected by the right ones, for the right reasons. When you stop seeking validation, take full responsibility, back your words with action, uplift others, and carry yourself with quiet confidence, you don't just earn respect, you embody it. And that version of you, the one who doesn't shrink, doesn't blame, doesn't compete, and doesn't apologize for taking up space, that's the version the world has been waiting to see. Now show up as her, fully, unapologetically, and without looking back.